Why a top 10? It's very simple. You don't want a top 20. You don't want a top 15. There isn't just four. So you try to encapsulate your interview for the person that you're hiring, because basically it is an interview. And then one of the biggest caveats that I have when hiring an MSP or hiring somebody in general is that you need to know this person. You need to interview this person. You need to trust this person. If you can't do that, if you're not willing to do that, then you're either A, looking for value, in which you're not going to get quality, or somebody's going to overcharge you and you're thinking you're getting quality and they're not going to deliver if you don't know what they're doing for you. So you know, it's an interview process, and what we've done is we've pared down the 30 or 40 questions that you really need to ask somebody on an interview and get it down to top 10. Because a lot of times, you know, an exec will be busy or an office manager will be busy, and they need to ask these questions, go back, sit back, think about it, and then make an informed decision based on answers that they get from different companies. One company might say, oh yeah, we do that. Another company might say, well, we do that this way. You know, would you want the company that says, yeah, we do that? Or you want the company that says, yeah, we do that this way, so you understand what they're doing. And that's how this whole slideshow was born. So there you have it. Do we need computers, email, reports, and the internet to run our businesses today? Absolutely. I don't think many businesses function without it anymore. There aren't too many paper businesses. There aren't too many businesses that function without machines, without readers. There's one Amazon plant up in Wallingford that actually does manual sorting. But even with the manual sorting, there's readers, there's infrared scanners, and the scanners will set out an alarm if the box is going down the wrong belt into the wrong zip code area. So there's still checks and balances, even though it's still a manual plant. So we do need our computers, we need them to function. So with my previous explanation, these are the questions. Sorry about that. And this is what we need to do. So the biggest, most expensive mistake most small business owners make is waiting, obviously, for it to break. Why call me when the thing's broken instead of saying, okay, let's be proactive about it. Let's monitor the systems. Let's get a backup going. Obviously, if you wait for it to break, now you're out of business and you got to wait a week. Sometimes when you order a server, it could take up to 5 weeks to get the thing up and running. And I tell you what, if a business gets shut down for 3 to 5 weeks without billing, they're out of business. And if you don't understand what you're paying for, how do you know? So here they come, the top 10. All right. Do you have the ability to remotely access our network? And if so, which devices will you not have access to and why? There are switches. There's smart switches. You guys have one at the chamber. I don't even know if you're aware of it. That switch that we put in there that supplies power to your phones is actually a managed switch. It has an IP address, it has a web interface, and we program it. We tell it what to do, where to go, what port to supply power to, and what not to, so we can even manage the power in it. And we do that through the software that we install on your computers. Are you available by phone during business hours? Do you usually call back with a certain time frame? What's the typical wait time for a callback? My answers are yes. We're available after hours. And in our contracts, we have a 1 to 4 hour guarantee. And a typical wait time for a callback is usually within 5 to 10 minutes at most. And do you have references? Can your clients attest to that? Are you available? You know, if I say, oh yeah, you know, ABC company's my customer, give them a call, and ABC says, no, he doesn't call back for 2 hours. Is that the guy you really want, or is that the company you really want managing your system? Monitoring. In this day and age, we can monitor. We can put a little piece of software on a computer. I can tell you within 15 minutes if your hard drive is going bad, if your CPU overheats, if your network is down, if your internet's not working. How? How is that done? Good question to ask. Security settings, virus definitions, and security patches do you handle for us? Doesn't matter what software they use. Are they monitoring it? Is it updated? Are they making sure that when there is an attack, are they on top of things? Is it getting service packed? Is it getting patched? Very, very important in today's day and age. Also, handling firewalls. Firewalls are important, closing ports, making sure that internet's not being accessed, making sure that web pages are being blocked on a daily basis. What kind of backup solutions? How does it stack up against what's available today? Very simple. If you look at the slide, tape backup is the old way. You used to have to go and trade a tape, take one home, and bring the next one in tomorrow to keep it off site. Disk backup, not as expensive as it was anymore, but the problem with a disk backup is, let's say, for instance, you're a medical office and you have a disk backup and it's sitting there in your office and you have a flood or a fire and the thing gets wet. Now it's not working. How are you going to get your data back? Because now you're subject to audit for the next 7 to 10 years. How are you going to get that data? Cloud backup, everything goes offline. It gets uploaded to the internet. It can be slow and it can not finish in the time allotted. If you have a lot of data and you set it up from midnight to 8 a.m., sometimes it might not get done by 8 a.m. So you're only doing half of the job. So the hybrid backup is what to do. Hybrid gives you a local disk, and then that disk actually backs up to the cloud or backs up offline to wherever your MSP chooses. How do you acquire, store, and secure our network documentation? Now, we all know we have paper. Where is that paper kept? Where are the passwords kept? Are they on a computer with a password? Are they in a locked file cabinet? How do you store it? Nancy, where do you store your passwords? Don't have to answer. When I have a customer's folder, or any ISP has a customer's folder, they should actually have it in a locked drawer. I have a booklet that's in the desk drawer. The desk drawer is locked. The key is on me at all times. Don't want anybody just walking in my office, grabbing my book and getting all the passwords, now do I? You have to think about that. Software license management. Gone are the days of free office, hacked out QuickBooks, and so on. How are you going to manage those licenses? That's a corroboration between you and your provider. Yes, we need to have legitimate legal software licenses. If you don't want to pay for them and your company just wants value and they don't want to spend the money, then they really shouldn't be that customer. They really shouldn't be in business, to tell you the truth. Warehouse with inventory. Again, in the internet technology world or information technology world, it's not a matter of if it's going to break, it's a matter of when it's going to break. Do they have spare hard drives? Do they have spare computers? Do they have a spare router? Do they have a backup of your router configuration so that they can bring it to your office, plug it in, restore it, and get you back up and running? Again, it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. Everything breaks. How many years have you been supporting networks like us? Goes to experience. Observations during the interview process. Do they make eye contact with you? Like that one. Do they seem to have grasp of your critical business functions? Will they give you a fixed price on projects or a T&M pay-as-you-go solution? That's important, very important. It's just like with any contractor, any consultant. If they know that it's going to take them 5 hours, they should have a fixed price. If it takes them more than 5 hours, shame on them. If it takes them less than 5 hours, good for them. Disaster recovery plan. Remember Dilbert? Do they arrive on time or do they reschedule often? I'm guilty of that. I'm absolutely guilty of that. I'm absolutely guilty of putting things off because there are emergencies. But when there's an emergency, are they there? Do they show up? Do they function? Do they keep your business rolling? Sometimes it can be annoying when they don't show up because, oh, I can't open the spreadsheet or I'm having a little issue. But when something crashes and burns, are they there? That's a big question to ask. That's it. That's my presentation. My own little plugin. My process is very simple. Walk in, we do an evaluation, we analyze, and we present your options for results. Any questions?